All right, so for tip number 1 on landing a summer job, don't. Bet you weren't expecting that. All right, everybody, stepping out of the studio and to the local mall because it is absolutely gorgeous out. And today I am bringing to you the top tips on how to land a summer job. Here we go. All right, top tip today on landing a summer job is to not. And you're probably wondering why. Well, let's start from the beginning of the fact that when companies hire brand new employees, it costs them a heck of a lot of cash in order to recruit, hire, onboard, and train that associate. And then even more cash goes into it when HR has to process them out of the system. So getting a summer job just isn't one of those things that's as big of a deal as it used to be. What do? Well, you apply like a regular part-time associate. What you do is you go ahead and put in that application. Don't put seasonal on there because seasonal typically means the season that company is going through peak performance sales. And though most retails do spike during the summertime, chances are they're more referring to holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So when you put in that application, put in one that just says part-time. And then once you go through the interview process, they've fallen in love with you. You can let them know that come school time, you'll just be adjusting your availability. Putting in that summer job application, don't mark seasonal, just mark part-time. All right, so tip number 2 is going to be on availability. Okay, you're getting a summer job, so don't apply for a summer job and then ask off for 4 weeks because you're going to go all over the world and all over the country for summer break. If you're going to work a summer job, make sure your availability is wide open. Employers are always looking for associates that they can put on the schedule whenever it meets the needs of the store. So if you put in a super complicated availability, chances are you're not going to get hired. Also, if you're going to put on a lot of vacation time, even before you get the job, chances are they're going to want an associate that's going to work for them a little more consistently. If you're going after a summer job, make sure you're actually going to be available to work it. That brings us to tip number 3. Working where you love can really be a catch-22 because here's the deal. You work there for a little while and it's not the same as being a customer as it is to being an employee. The two things are very different. So the places you love to go, shop, eat, drink your coffee may not mean they're your favorite places to work. And number 2, if the job doesn't work out quite like you want, you might feel awkward going back. So maybe shy away from your favorite hang spots. I get it, it's a common misconception with your first job. You want to work somewhere you love, but drinking coffee is different than serving it, and trying on clothes in your favorite store is different than cleaning up the mess after somebody else. It is super important for you to start strong, but it's even more important for you to finish well. Here's why for tip number 4. You want them to want you back for the holidays, and that way you can make that cash. But if you don't finish well, your chances of that are very slim, and then you're going to have to start out finding a brand new job again. So how you finish well is openly communicate your schedule changes way in advance. Don't do it once they've already posted it on the schedule or once they're already writing their next schedule. And then really think about the needs of the business. Don't try and ask off for those super busy days. I mean, you're the one that got the job for seasonal, so don't ask off for the big holidays. So make sure even if you start strong, you finish well by really partnering with your manager on what your expectations are, what the needs of the business are, and making sure you communicate well and with sufficient time. And when that happens, you will successfully be able to come back more often than not for peak holiday times, like during the seasonal holidays for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And a lot better than you trying to find a brand new job. You already have a job, you can just pick your hours up again. So communicate with your boss. Figure out if there are a minimum number of hours you have to work every pay period in order to keep that job and stay on payroll, which also typically means you get to keep your discount. Pretty awesome. and then let them know when you want to kick those hours up and when you need to pull back. This also allows you the opportunity to use it as a reference on your next job application and on your resume. If you don't finish well, you're not going to want to write their name down, and you're not going to have anybody for your next employer to call for you to get hired. So start strong and finish well. Finishing it off with tip number 5 is try and get a job that's close to home. The reason why is you're going to typically have the early morning shifts or the late night shifts, the shifts that not everybody else wants, but that you get because you're new and you don't want to add a long commute to the end of a long day or to the beginning of one. Also, typically part-time or seasonal positions have shorter shift lengths. So who wants to be stuck in traffic for an hour to work 4? Try and find a job that's close to home, and you will be well on your way to a successful summer job. Glad you came along to learn some tips and tricks on how to get your next summer seasonal job. If any of those helped you out, I'd love for you to hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ring that bell, because more videos are coming to you from this brand new channel on how to get the job, keep the job, and be promoted. I'd also love to hear comments below on how this helped you and where will you be working this summer. Thanks so much for stopping in, and stay tuned.